Good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday, and you know what we try to do on Wednesday is do budget meal under $5 with my awesome friend. Here is the hostess that puts it on every week. Please go check out her channel and check out all the awesome recipes she has put together for us to enjoy something inexpensive and yummy. If you'd like to join in, don't forget budget meal under $5 is the hashtag for this open collab. Go and check this one out and watch what all the other awesome creators came up for budget meals this week. And now let's go see what Grandma did. Grandma did a little bit more than usually she does. I cooked enough for at least 3 days, all on a budget. And really, there was probably enough for 4 days. But you know, I work full-time, take care of a sick husband, run a YouTube channel. I need all the help I can get. And keeping things in budget is important, but also saving time. Sometimes I just get busy and start cooking multiple meals at the same time, for I don't have to worry about cooking for a few days. Well, get ready for a marathon of cooking. I made 4 meals today, and every one of them was on a budget. Very hard to do, but I managed to do it. Starting with leftover roast, 1 can of consomme, and a container of sour cream, and of course, some wonderful pasta. This will make 2 of these meals with no trouble. We're going to take this meat and we're going to cut it up small, for there's a lot of meat in every bite, so you don't feel like you are doing without. But truthfully, it's not a lot of meat when you consider this is for 2 large containers. Each one of them will serve 6 people. I'm going to take that 1 can of consomme and I'm going to put it in a saucepan, and I'm going to put a can of water with it and let it simmer, and that way when I cut up the meat, that will revive the meat back to being flavorful and nice. And on top of that, I have some drippings left from that roast, and I'm going to use that juice in that water to also add to what I'm using, because I'm trying to keep this under $5 for each meal. Normally, I would have added another can of consomme and another can of golden mushroom. But because I'm trying to keep it in budget, I only use the consomme. And it worked out fine because I had drippings from the roast that I originally started with. I'm going to cut that meat up, like I said, very fine, for I can use it in both meals. And also, because I would have probably been better if I had put an onion in it, but because I'm trying to stay in budget, I did not use an onion. Usually I would grill up an onion and put it in there. Now there is my consomme heating up with 1 can of water. Now I have some other juice that I'm warming up that was the drippings from my roast, and I will show it to you later. Now I'm going to cook my pasta. I'm going to cook the whole box of pasta, but I'm going to divide it between the 2 different meals that I'm going to make with it. So that's how the meal didn't end up being that expensive. But that pasta was so filling and so much, even with only a half, it still would feed 6 people. And another thing, like I said, we're doing a marathon. In another pan, I have 2 hamburger patties cooking and some ground beef. That ground beef is going for another meal, and it's a ½ pound. I'm going to heat up this pan for another meal. You know, like I said, marathon time. And this one, we're going to make some hash from some of that leftover roast that I had. And this is going to be very inexpensive, and it's going to be $5 or less also. I'm going to cut up 3 potatoes, good sized potatoes, 1 onion, and make some hash. Now I put some of my drippings from that roast that I already cooked from another day, and now you can see there's more flavor in that consomme sauce. So that way I can pour it over both of my dishes that I'm making with the pasta. Here are the size of the potatoes that I used. They're good size. They're going to go in that fry pan. And we're going to, like I said, put an onion in there. It's still going to be under $5 because all I had to put in there was 3 pretty good sized potatoes, 1 onion, as you can see here, and I'm going to use ketchup and that leftover meat. We're almost done. We're getting our pasta ready now. We're going to pour some of this consomme and meat in there. Now that meat at the end was simmering in that pan to get that meat moist and wonderful again. And that meat is going to be in this particular pan here. And the half pound of hamburger meat is going to go in the other pasta. My husband doesn't like roast. I know it's hard to believe. I think it tastes great. And to bring even more flavor to this dish, we're going to use, you can use a fourth of a 16-ounce sour cream. So that would be 4 ounces for each dish. Or you could add more if you want to. But I was trying to keep in budget. That's why I used what I did. If I was not worrying about budget, I would have used a half of a container of sour cream, and I would have used an onion, and I would have used golden mushroom along with a consomme to even give more flavor to this dish. But we're trying to do a budget meal, and that's what I did. I may make this in the future, and I will use all the ingredients that I would love to use. But when you're trying to work in a budget, you figure out how to downsize and see what you can put together, but still it's going to taste great. And there was plenty of meat in this dish too. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of meat in my hash. So I'm not skimping anywhere. And when I get done, and I don't know if you noticed, when I peel those potatoes, I didn't take the skins off. I left the skins on for it has more flavor, I think, to the food, and it has better vitamins for us to eat. Come on, we want to eat healthy along with eating, I don't want to use the word cheap, in budget. But as you can see, Grandma is really coming along. And as you can see, my other pan of pasta is doing great. And that's with hamburger meat. And there was some of those consomme was poured in there too to give more flavor to that pasta. And believe it or not, it really does flavor it up. And if you wanted to just make a wonderful meal with a lot of flavor that'll go a long ways, cook the whole thing full of pasta, put 1 or 2 cans of consomme, and you got a massive meal. So it's up to you what you want to do and how you want to cook your food and budget. But pasta always makes that meal stretch a little bit more. And you never know what we're going to find and what we're going to do on this channel, because Grandma believes in living in budget. And there's just me and Grandpa. Now, my meat is done. I have cooked up some veggies in the same drippings. And so this whole meal, the hamburgers, vegetables, were all cooked in one pan. And my pasta was all cooked in one pan, and my hash was cooked all in one pan. The only thing extra I had to mess up at all was for the other dishes. I used some frozen corn and mixed vegetables in the microwave. Now here's my hash cooking away now. The meat's in there. I've already put some ketchup in there. You could use ketchup or you could use tomato sauce. I went for the ketchup thinking it might be a little cheaper and to have a little more flavor on those potatoes and meat. Not that the tomato sauce wouldn't have been just fine, but I like to mix it up. I do season everything with a little bit of garlic salt, lemon pepper, because I love the pepper taste, and I love that but lemon taste to my food also. I think it gives a lot of flavor. And there's my hamburgers and my vegetables all done. And like I said, I spent about an hour and 20 minutes making all this food and getting it prepared, getting it cooked and everything, because it was all cooking at the exact same moment. And now I'm done cooking for the rest of this week until Friday, and then I'll cook some more food. And you can see everything turned out. Everything is full, and there's plenty of food here. There's enough food for lunch and dinner, and no one's going to get bored because we're going to share it and do it different ways. This one here, I used some of the pasta along with my one hamburger patty. And the hamburger patty I picked has blue cheese in it. That's what those little white specks on it are. Very, very good, and something a little different. And there was no difference for the blue cheese or just the regular plain hamburger. I know that's hard to believe too. I bought it already mixed up at Stater Brothers. Just had to fry it up quick and easy. And of course, you can't really see, but there was plenty of mixed vegetables in this bowl also. Because I like to try to have a balanced meal. The meat was very, very good. And I do try to do my best that I can. Meat is pretty pricey, so believe it or not, to me, hamburger meat is the most expensive thing you can buy now. And I spent really less money in the long run with that roast than I did these two hamburgers. But we still got in budget. Everything was under $5, and that's the most important thing. And when you start figuring up the pasta dishes, these hamburgers were only going to feed me and my husband one time. The pasta dishes, there was at least 6 servings in each one of those pans, and that worked out pretty good. The hash, I think, is going to be at least enough for 4 servings, maybe 6 also. I used only 3 good-sized potatoes, and I was really surprised how much I actually made with just the 3 potatoes. I had pulled out 4, but it ended up being so much, I says, no, I think 3 is plenty. And like I said, I didn't take the skins off the potato, more vitamins, quicker to prepare. That's how I got all these dishes put together, so quick and easy, because I didn't mess with it. I just went ahead and made it. That is the best way, I think, to do a lot of stuff. And this food will taste even better the next day. Just because you buy something that isn't expensive doesn't mean it can't have good quality taste and be yummy. I'm not saying I couldn't have knocked that flavor up, spending a little more money. But if you're working on a budget, this food was still fine. I could have added another can of golden mushroom and another onion, but I would have went over budget. So you have to do what you have to do to keep that thing in budget. But I managed to do it. This is the pasta that my husband wanted with just the hamburger meat. And of course, we put some mixed vegetables. That's a regular sized dinner plate. So there is a pretty good serving there, I think, for me and my husband apiece. But like I said, we all like different things. My husband likes hamburger. I like roast. So mine had roast and his had hamburger. And there was at least 6 servings out of there. Because I've already had lunch and dinner, and there's still plenty for another day or two. So these are things you can do on a budget. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm so glad you enjoyed the post today for budget meals under $5. This is amazing what you can do. The 2 pasta dishes I made will feed at least 6 people with no trouble. The hash would easily make 4 meals also. The only meal that only could make 1 serving apiece was the 2 hamburgers. But I thought we did good. What do you think?